Good
He's
evening,
gone.
everybody.
Yeah, it's
Where'd he
going.
He's got to tell the daughter not to come running in.
Whoops.
Forgot to give the heads up warning that the 4-year-old has a mind of her own, so it's just got to do one last reminder.
Yeah, that comes first. Home comes
Well,
first.
welcome everybody. We are War. We are resilient. I'm Mike of Hellfish Haven here with Travis Barrington, Oscar Mike Radio. Tonight we are joined by Valhalla Awaits, who joined us about a year ago previously to discuss all things going on in the YouTube world and why to avoid other social media platforms, which we'll share a video of later. We're here tonight to share what's going on. At the bottom, you can see there is a Give, Send, Go to support Valhalla in a probate case to support his dad's legacy estate and through probate. And I will throw up a little image here.
That's the one. That's the one. That's the one you're looking for.
So if you see this page, you'll see that Hellfish Haven there donated 11 days ago to make it a nice even number.
Yeah, you did. Appreciate you, buddy.
And then
it's kind of hard to believe it's been a year, huh?
Wow.
It doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
No. And then like pull that down so we can see ourselves again. There we go. And Travis, we have to say congratulations to you as well. We've got a gold medal recipient on our hands.
Outstanding.
Thank you very much.
Travis, do you want to give us a quick rundown of where you got this and how you got that?
Sure. So I compete in weightlifting, competed for quite some time. And then a little over 4.5 years ago, Mike's very aware of this. I ruptured my quadricep tendon, my right quad tendon. The surgeon's like, hey, I think your old Marine Corps injury finally came due. The VA doesn't agree, but that's a different story for a different time. And, I was told at the time, like, hey, it's going to be difficult, if not impossible, for you to do that again at any kind of level, right? Your age and everything that happened, get ready for a walker and a cane, and it's just going to be hard. And I'm like, well, forget that. I didn't say it like that, but forget that. I'm going to, empty the tank on this. And about 2 years ago, we started seeing glimmers of hope. And then last year was a good year. And then this year, it seems like we've really turned the corner. And so that meet is in the USA Masters Weightlifting Federation. And it's a national meet. It's a qualifier for the Worlds and the Pan Ams. And I went there, and after a long, hard haul, took first place in my age group weight class. And it was just a really surreal moment. A lot of people have wished me well and congratulations. And now it's like, well, we're right back at it, getting better. And, people are like, hey, that was a really inspiring thing to see. So thanks, Mikey, 40 Mike, for your encouragement. It was nice to text you that day. And yeah, we're first place, and it feels pretty
Absolutely.
good.
You got to share that picture one more time so folks can see.
I was pretty happy with that one. Pretty happy.
I mean, you can see the static right there,
Right.
Going from, being told that, your legs aren't what they used to be to being able to throw in their face and say, hey, we got this.
I'll be right back. I'm going to see if I can find the medal.
Yep, no worries. I'll take you off for a second.
Yeah, that's quite the story, huh? Going from you might be done walking on your own forever to winning powerlifting events. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's just crazy, when I got my back surgery, I had my L5 S1 disc. I had a herniated disc that pinched both nerves that went down both my legs. So anytime I sat down too long, my legs would go numb, so I'd stand up but fall over. And it was like, if I sat down too long, it hurt. If I stood up too long, it hurt. And just everything was a pain. And I tried to fight as long as I could, being like, I don't want to get a surgery. I've seen people as soon as they get one back surgery, it just opens the door for another and another and another. And by the time I was on my third tour of Iraq, my medic was giving me a shot of Toradol every week because it was deteriorating so bad. And the IBA, just puts that weight right on the back, and it tries to have the gear
Yeah.
on it, have everything spread out, but it doesn't. And
I've
then,
been pretty lucky. I've never had any back issues. That was always one that sounds horrible.
yeah. And then I was an idiot with we did a dismounted patrol one time with our Iraqi police, and one of my soldiers wasn't feeling so well. He had a bad knee. And so I was like, oh, no worries, man. I'll take your saw for the day, and you can take my light M4. And then of course after that mission, I was like, oh, that was a bad idea.
Just leave it to the bigger guys to carry them saws.
Absolutely.
We haul a little better.
And of course, I had the walk kit too, like the big ass medic bag.
Oh God, man!
So I'm walking around with the big medic bag on my back with the full 8-liter in it, and it was just and then carrying around a saw with that. I was just literally just torturing myself.
Yeah, that's like self-inflicted pain at that point.
Did you want to share your army backstory with the folks here in the
For those that don't know who I am, I'm Valhalla. I was in the army in the infantry from 02 to 07. Did 2 tours in Iraq. Carried a saw, most of it. Did a little bit of everything though. I was a javelin assistant gunner for a little while. I was a RTO for a little while. Drove a lot of Humvees. And now I got out. Now I happily married down in Tennessee, raising goats.
Did you go right into that? Right into the farming, right from getting out of service?
No. I was wandering around for like a decade, working in the bars and strip clubs, and
Yeah, I did door guy, at various bars and locations, doing that because it was cash. It's like, here you go. All you gotta do is stand there and be a dick and tell these young kids to go climb a tree,
Yeah.
And then they come to you and they hand you an ID and you're like, you gotta be kidding me. You're not even trying with this thing. Then some of the bars I was at was in Cambridge and was right near Harvard. And these kids were hand me their Harvard ID. And I'm like, that doesn't say that you're 21. I'm like, your Harvard ID does nothing for me, buddy. It's, you're not impressing me. Maybe your date there, likes it, but it's not going to get you past the door, guy.
Not doing any favors with me. I need a real ID.
Yeah. We had one guy that, was actually smart about it. And, what he did was he came up and he put a $100 bill underneath his ID. And he handed the ID to me and he goes, underneath is for you if I get in. Absolutely. And I was like, here's your ID back. I'm not even going to look at it because I don't want to know.
I will not admit to that on the internet. That's for sure.
He was 21 for all I know. I never actually saw the date.
That's funny.
Plausible deniability, I think.
There you go. Who cares if you were paid to check those dates? It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
That's neither here nor there.
Hey, man, how are you today?
Hey, maybe not. How we doing?
So you were doing, last time we talked, you had this cool YouTube thing you did where you had people come together to play, was it Dungeons and Dragons or some game, or it was some kind of
Lego.
Yes, thank you, Lego.
I'm
getting old. It's coming back to me.
Yeah. We do a interview stream under the guise of playing with Lego. So me and my buddy Dave.
Game Boy one here.
Oh, we can't see it. Oh, there you go. I saw a glimpse of it.
Yep.
Those damn green screens. There you go. That's a cool set. I haven't built it yet. But yeah, we get me and my buddy Dave, MLS, and Wendy. We brought Wendy in. She kind of moderates and produces for us, if you will. And then we'll bring a guest on and interview him, ask him a bunch of questions while we're all building Lego, having a cocktail.
And let's see if this will work. I think I've got a clip from last time you were talking about the Lego stream.
Space to build in, or is it just something that from childhood, or just what I like Lego blocks and here's what I got?
I think it's a little of all of the above, man.
Yeah.
It's, it was always a childhood toy, and same with Dave. I know he's got a lot of like childhood memories with Legos, and it was. I started doing it on a stream way back in the day with the guy, and we would just kind of hang out and build Lego and just kind of BS, and then me and Dave turned it into a interview stream where we get to bring somebody in and ask them all kinds of awesome questions while their brain's preoccupied, and we get some good answers out of it.
Yeah.
Folks are asking, what are you working on currently?
That's good. Pretty good description, really. Didn't change it a whole lot.
And then any good Lego builds recently?
Yeah, the last one we did was awesome. Both of the Ricadas, Mr. and Mrs. Came on. So the Law Pope, and he went 9.5 hours or something. Built the ski lodge set. It's pretty cool. Pretty long stream. It was good though. It was a lot of fun. And there were such
very
great
intricate.
sports. Yeah.
No, so
like
this recent question of mine, I'm seeing these articles come around where people, in our demographic are kind of getting upset at Lego because they're not like they've lost the article claims they've lost the spirit of Lego. It's not just building your imagination. It's you're building these licensed products that are just, build once and then sit there and look good for a while. But there's no real imagination anymore to build these sets. That's already done for you. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that, or I kind of agree to a degree, because I remember my dad's first Lego set was this. It was a motor with tracks to build a bulldozer, but you could build all this other kind of stuff, but you had to think it before you could build it. Am I just old and curmudgeon, or is there
maybe a little bit?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's okay. Go ahead and tell me. I'm old and curmudgeon.
Well, you can still do all that, right? Like the imagination aspect is still there. They sell.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I got to fight in a burp. Excuse me. The you've got these licensed sets, which they pay builders good money to come up with these sets, right? Some of these sets are pretty intricate, pretty unique. And I think it's like anything else. When you start sharing ideas, you start expanding on those ideas, right? So I think with the pre-built sets, sometimes you get opportunity to use Lego in ways that you wouldn't naturally come up with on your own, and it expands the global creativity involved. I think that's my argument anyway.
Okay.
You can still do the creative stuff, right? You can still build free blocks, and everybody's got a Lego stash.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
I just think that, it'd be nice if, it had you build something, and then, once you build it, you could also have a second product that you build out of the same set. Like almost getting like a 2-for-1 out of it.
There is actually a 3-for-1 sets now where,
really?
They've got one set and they'll give you 3 separate instructions. Like the last one I built was a haunted house, and it could also be a haunted ghost train and a haunted ship, like a shipwreck. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Pretty cool set. Yeah, and there's a bunch of those 3-in-1 sets. So if you really want your money's worth, you got at least 3 opportunities to lose pieces.
And now you're on YouTube. You are no longer on Twitter.
Correct. They kicked me off of Twitter, those sons of guns.
I believe I'm going to show this video before I introduce your last platform that you're on.
TikTok is sus. Yet here we are.
TikTok's one of those ones I'm not going anywhere near. I'm not touching it.
I don't want the spyware. I don't want.
Not poking it with a stick. Nothing. TikTok can do whatever TikTok's doing way over there.
No.
That's kind of how I feel. Like I get told the same thing. Like, oh, you got to be on TikTok. But I'm like, do you know what that thing actually does to your? It's not what you think it is.
It's not. It doesn't seem to be beneficial to people's well-being. I don't think.
And now, as you saw, Valhalla Awaits 3 is on TikTok, and Health and Shade is also on TikTok, and
to clarify, I suppose I have been misleading the public on this TikTok situation. If I'm being perfectly honest, if you're gonna air me out in public like this, I'll come clean. I'll come clean. I have never had TikTok on any device I've ever owned. Mrs. Valhalla, however, has a TikTok where she posts goats, and I advertise it as Valhalla Awaits because that's really the farm, not me. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So, yes, I have nothing to do with said TikTok account, but it does exist. Way to call me out, buddy. Appreciate it.
No problem. I mean, I did the same thing. You know, talked about the spyware, and now my phone's full of it.
I also was fighting getting a Twitter or X account for like years before I finally broke down, got one, and it lasted, I don't know, 12 months, 18 months, and then they suspended me for God knows what. I'm not that what's the word I'm looking for? Argumentative on Twitter. Like I'm not going out there with outrageous takes most of the time. I think I just pissed off the wrong ex-FBI agent. Is what happened.
And then
yeah.
you got
Yeah.
the speaking on the goats, you shared this little tidbit with us last time that we'll refresh the folks' memories of.
So with the goats, tell me about the goats. The goats are cool. I grew up with goats.
They've got their moments. I'll give them that. I don't actually know, man. That was kind of one of my things when I was in the Army, right? It was always I want to get out, drink beer, get fat, and raise goats. It was just a joke I had. Well, I guess it came true at some point. Somewhere along the lines.
Do you have any of the ones that fall asleep?
No. The myotonic or fainting goats, those things are pretty cool.
Those things are wild. Like I literally got stuck down a rabbit hole one day watching those, and I was just like, less than 4 hours went by, and I'm like, I've been watching goats scream and fall asleep for 4 hours.
I'm gonna break your heart. You know what those are used for, right?
No.
The actual purpose of those goats is you put a couple of them with your expensive herd of goats, so that way if a predator shows up and attacks your goats, the cheaper fainting goat falls over, and he's the. You ain't got to be faster than the bear. You just got to be faster than your buddy. That whole thing.
Yep.
So it's survival of the most awake?
That's basically it. Well, the really horrible part is they're awake. Their muscles just seize up. So they get temporarily paralyzed.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah, they're awake and conscious. They don't actually pass out.
No.
That got dark. My bad.
And but on the good news, your goats have been having baby goats, and you do share that live stream on your YouTube.
Yeah, I was doing last season. I was doing 24 hours a day, but it was too much. I was struggling to keep up with everything that I needed to keep up with. So we're doing a once in a while. But right now it's up even. I've got a live stream going right now. We've got 3 babies out of 2 mommies in that stall.
So if you see on the scroll on the bottom, you can write down Val's YouTube, just Valhalla Awaits, and check those out. They are nice to be able to go to sleep watching the goats run around, try to jump up on things, harassing one another.
They're good background noise. If you want to just have barn noises in the background, watch some cute little goats. It's a lot of people enjoy watching them and doing whatever.
Fall asleep to it,
Yeah. We were having issues back in the day.
Really have their own little personalities, and they're really
every one of them do, and they're all jerks. Every single one of them. They're all their own individual little jerks. They're cute though. They're fun. I really it's done me a lot of good.
And now,
not for everybody, mind you.
Now, I've seen you doing the walks with them. Like, do they need a lot of walking? Like, is it like a dog where you got to get them to exercise, or they get all anxious?
No, they've got a lot of. That's what they do, right? They graze, and they don't graze; they browse. So they cover a lot of distance and kind of munch along the way. And with goats, like it in a optimal situation, you would have rotating pastures for them.
Mhm.
And I'm just not set up quite that way yet. So I have to kind of move them myself. And
You don't rent them out to people to like get their like areas cleaned
it's
up.
it's a down the road idea. We haven't really,
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys have figured this out or not, but I'm not exactly in a hurry to get anywhere nowadays. I my ideas take a long time to come to realization most of the time. But yeah, that's one of the things I've been working on. I don't have a trailer right now, and I'd have to get like a lot of solar temporary fencing. So it's just a cost. I have other places where my money needs to go, as everybody does.
Bob's got a question here. Are the two moms related?
They are. So in the stall we have Ruby, who was my OG. She was like the first goat I ever bought, and then Daisy is her first daughter that we kept. So it's a mother-daughter combo in that stall.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they get along fairly well.
And now you were doing a stream. You helped she's a sheriff's office or corrections officer?
Corrections officer.
To help the corrections officer go ahead and get the equipment that she needed because their department didn't, offer it. And she was going on, and she had a wish list of what she wanted, and then she had a goal set, and Valhalla really said, hey, don't
Well, she was
the money is a limitation, and she was being modest, and she wasn't
She
getting the
was.
equipment that she actually needed versus she was going for the bare minimum protection and like the bare minimum like safety and the bare minimum like comfort.
Yes.
And like
So you're talking about Carmen, who is
Yep.
alternate juror AJ. She's got a YouTube channel. She's good people. Carmen's good people too. Obviously. But yeah, she was being humble and modest, and it was a situation where she really shouldn't be. She had to get what she should get, and not what she felt comfortable with asking for. So I kicked her butt a little bit, and that came through in a big way. And that was really awesome. We got her the equipment she needed.
And that's one of the nice things when the internet and social media comes together, and you actually see good things like that happen, and following that people really gave you the kick in the butt to saying, hey man, don't be shy to ask for help yourself if you need it. And that's where this probate issue and the gives and go was birthed out of. At the end of I think it was just a random stream one night, you were just talking, and it kind of came up and started. And then what is the
Well, like I was go ahead.
I'm just looking at what the amount is at. So it's you had a 7,500 goal, raised 57. So looking for 1,800 to complete the goal.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close, y'all. And hopefully that'll do the trick. I'm such a pessimist at this point with this whole situation. Who knows? I might end up having to come back and grovel a little more at some point. But hopefully that'll do the trick. Hopefully that'll at least get us situated and get the process moving at the very least.
Yeah.
And we already have. Once we got the retainer, I pulled that out immediately and sent that to the lawyer. So that's a good thing.
So you have the attorney that's going to represent you guys.
Yep. She's a stud.
And now, is that difficult because it's out of state? Is it are there complications?
Yeah,
there?
it certainly makes things way more complicated, right? Because I luckily I have a lot of lawyer friends on YouTube that were advantageous in this situation. But yeah, it costs more being out of state. Like they impose another tax on top of everything else, and like I'm not playing anymore, right? I messed up the first time around. I'm not messing up this time. So she's not cheap. You know what I mean? This lawyer's she's not cheap at all, and that's good. She's hopefully worth every penny.
Dealing with the the probate and everything, you want to make sure that you're not, going the cheap route. You don't want a public defender in a situation like this,
Yeah. Well, that's what the first route was, the cheap, easy route, and it backfired badly. So now I gotta get my kicks
There's
in
nothing
and
more expensive than bad legal advice or poor
Yeah.
legal advice, man. There just isn't, and people whine about that. But I'm like, man, and
you're not wrong.
you're going to pay one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
You're not wrong, man.
And like
But luckily, I've been really lucky in that, my community, you guys, everybody that's watching us has been really, really awesome and kind of
absolutely.
stress away.
And I'm just surprised that there's not, more routes, veterans to go to get legal help and representation. Like it's basically you have to go out and find basically a lawyer who is a vet in order to get, pro bono work, or, in order to get, assistance, in the field. Anytime you look at these programs that are like, free legal advice, it's only for, VA claims. It's only for
this state or this county
thing.
or it gets really niche and complicated for no reason.
And it's like some of them, they're like, we don't do civil, some of them we don't do criminal, some of them we don't do this. And it's like, all these organizations, like even Harvard advertises, hey, we've got, Harvard Law School, the Veterans Clinic to go here. And again, it's, it's for your VA, compensation and benefits, appeals. It's for, if you had an issue with like the Soldier and Sailors Relief Act, if you had an, employer support of the Guard and Reserve, things like that, they can help you with. But it's like, if it's anything that, a lot of veterans struggle with, even like things you would think like, there would be some sort of program out there set up. Like we have the veterans courts, but we don't have, the veterans, attorneys set up for that. These guys are still going into the veterans courts and they still have to find the representation. Yes, the judge is more lenient and more set to set up a veteran on a program to rehabilitate and get them back out there with a lesser, stamp on their history. But it's still just wild to see, there's no program in place that says, hey, veterans get a lot of DUIs. Veterans have a lot of substance abuse. There's a lot of issues. Shit that can go bad when you mix, mental health with substances and, the VA prescribing, overprescribing, underprescribing, and it just goes, and makes a whole chain reaction of things. And like we have the, the SAVE teams, and you have these organizations out there to be able to call in those crises. But I feel like once you make that call, you're just almost like you're looking at a $10,000 bill. Yeah. Yeah. And, people always say too, when you get behind the wheel of a car and you've been drinking, you call the Uber, call somebody, because, that DUI is going to cost you a year or two of your license, and it's going to cost you, $10,000 to $15,000 in legal fees.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So one thing I'm reading is there's actually fewer people between the ages of like 17 and 24 drinking now.
Really?
And in some places, bars are having trouble getting new customers. And, I don't want anybody to go out of business, but also it's like, well, maybe the message is sinking that, hey, if you get caught drinking and driving, it's going to mess your life up.
I do know this younger generation is really anti-drinking and driving. They are really against it, but and good, right? Like that's a positive in my opinion. But they've grown up with Uber right there and Lyft, and a safe ride is only a couple buttons away. So it makes sense. I get it. It's good. I think it's a positive movement for the world in this country.
And we also had, Mothers Against Drunk Driving at all the events to be able to, push that on it. And like, that's another big thing that's hurt the veteran service organizations is the increase in the drinking and driving laws and the, seeing that, a lot of these organizations really made their canteen the hub of the organization. They really focused, the bar life was the life of the veteran service organization. It was the Legion. It was the VFW. It was the, the AMVETS and, whatever else you got out there. They all
Well, I mean,
focus on
that's what it.
canteen so much.
That's how it was in the service, right? As soon as you got off work and we're done for the
Yeah.
weekend, all right, let's go to the bar.
Man, you'd have
How it
Marines
was.
go to the Yuma PX and grab a 30 pack. And by Saturday, afternoon, go back to the PX and get another 30 pack. It was just the way it was.
The barracks were nuts. When I was living in the barracks, I don't know if I've ever drank more, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think the before my first deployment, that last week that we were still on base and in the barracks, I think we were each going through about 2 cases a night. It was just all day. As soon as Friday, we got cut out on Friday, we didn't stop drinking until Sunday morning, about 1 a.m. Monday morning, rather, about 1 a.m.
My first tour, we had we couldn't drink for like the train up time when we were getting all our validation stuff and check the box, right?
Oh, we might have ruined it for you. My bad.
And then after that, we were good to go. We could drink and do whatever, because we were called to active duty in June, and we didn't go to Iraq until October.
Oh, yikes.
And so like we did, the MOB cycle was only 60 or 70 days tops, and then we just had much time to like go to schools and stuff like that. So it was like, all right, so like
That's where we
got a bunch of our guys, to the NCOESs. We got myself and my platoon, we all got to go through the protective services training. And we all went down there to the school and did the protective service anti-terrorism evasive driving course, and like got to do like J turns from like the passenger seat, and like where like the instructor would like have another car drive up next to him and shoot a paintball out the window, and the instructor would just slump over the wheel and go, "I'm dead." And like you'd have to push him back and then drive from the passenger seat. And
that's cool training. We didn't get to do that kind of fun stuff.
No.
My first deployment, when we got to Kuwait, we were trying to find pieces of steel that we could strap onto our cargo Humvees for the drive up to Kirkuk, Iraq. We didn't get any cool driving training. Oh,
did you have the whatchamacallit, the like the Mad Max Humvees where you were putting the extra stuff on it? So
when we first got in country. Go ahead. My bad.
When Rumsfeld was there saying that like you go to war with the army that you have, not the army you wish you had. I was there in Kuwait like during that. Like, so I was protective service for the generals. So like all of our generals were right there, front row when Rumsfeld said that. And like,
was that the speech when he made everybody's deployments 13 months effective immediately?
Yep.
Okay. I remember where I was during that speech too. I was preparing to come home. That son of a bitch. I was so mad. We got it. We were shipping down to Kuwait and like had everything bagged up, and we got moved to these tents on like the far side of the base. And then that speech. And then we got stuck for like 3 months in these stupid tents. Oh, I hated it. Damn you, Rumsfeld.
Was he a good Secretary of Defense? There's been some back and forth on that. Some people thought he did really good with the hand he was dealt. Some people were like, did he serve himself? I think that was the thing. He's like Macklin there. He didn't serve, right?
I don't recall I was a young kid.
So he was like in his he was in Dad Bush's cabinet too.
Right.
Yeah.
And then W's and the big thing with like the whole like. We had the up armored Humvees stateside. We hadn't shipped them over to Iraq yet. We hadn't shipped them into Kuwait and got them up to the troops, in theater. And like that was the issue. Is like we were going to these fucking tank graveyards, like in Kuwait. Like you've got all these old tanks that fucking ate shit, and then we just left them there, And when like I checked my boxes off when I came home, and like I checked off, depleted uranium, they're like, "How the fuck do you get depleted uranium? That wasn't used, during this war." And I was like, "Yeah, well, we fucking have to go to the tank graveyard to fucking get armor to put on our Humvees to go up north."
They gave me a whole lot of warnings about depleted uranium in country. If there was no depleted uranium in country, there was a lot of training on what to do about depleted uranium.
And aren't the A-10 shells depleted uranium pretty much?
Probably. That shit's everywhere. Those satellites they used, like the radio signals that had the big wires that you couldn't cross because of radiation. I think some of that had depleted uranium. I mean, I don't know that to be true, but there was radiation there. I know that.
And then, like, as you came into like some of the gates, like you could literally feel it going through your body. Like, I was a gunner on my first tour, and so I'm up in the turret, and as I come through like some of these gates, you know, there's these giant X-ray things, like, and like if it can go through, you know, the steel and the armor of an up armored Humvee and see me, like, what power is that, you know, cooking through me? And it's like, you know, I'm just like, I'm surprised that I was fertile when I got home. It was just so much like stuff that they're just pumping into, you know. It's bad enough that they, you know, the anthrax shots was like a 7-shot series, and then you had to get a booster every year. So I got like 11 of those. And it was like a one envelope in the US, you know, within, you know, 6 months.
King Bob just donated to the Give Send Go. Thank you so much, King Bob. I appreciate you, brother. $10. He says, here's a few more dollars for you, Bob. I appreciate it, brother.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And then, yeah, just like, you know, driving in the bases, you know, coming in. Because the first
I don't remember that. I don't remember like X-ray machines in the gates.
So it was big in Baghdad.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because like the first tour I was in Tikrit, like they didn't have it, but like then the second tour, so I did 04, 05, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. And so the first tour, it was like, you know, we on the road, and like I thought I was safe as shit up in my, you know, my makeshift turret that, you know, was built of the old, you know, old tank scraps. And then I didn't realize that the top of the Humvee was not, you know, armor, that it was just, you know, basically sheet metal. And I thought I had this, you know, plate behind my back the whole tour that was, you know, going to protect me, and it wouldn't have stopped anything. So I'm just lucky that nothing came through it.
We got hit by an IED one time that it literally took the entire top of the Humvee and peeled it off the frame like a tuna can. It blew the motor probably 200-300 meters in the air. It was a lot of explosive.
Were those new 7 tons and MRAPs better for IEDs than the Humvees?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got smart, right? We ended up, because it was all like pressure point IEDs that they were using. So we ended up like putting, what do we call them, rhino horns or something on the front of them. And it was just a big long pole with a heavy weight on the end. What'd you say?
It was like an ammo can with a light bulb in it. And, you know, they would have on the side of the road, they would have a sensor that would see the heat signature from the engine, and that would set off the IED to strike us. So with the Rhino, you put it out, you know, 7 feet, or you put it out 2 feet, or you put it out, you know, 12, depending on the length of the steel that you had out there. And that would catch the heat signature. So the IED would detonate prior to, you know, the Humvee, or if you had it closer to the engine, it would detonate behind. Because once they saw the Rhino out there, they started, you know, shifting the IEDs. Because in Baghdad, they were doing a lot of the EFPs, the copper.
The directional projections is what they were called.
Yeah,
they were basically sending molten copper down a tube, so they blow out a 12-inch circle out of a Humvee.
And it was literally going through the side of the Humvee, you know, going through the TC into the gunner, and sometimes the driver as well. And then they also had like the RKG3, which was like a handheld version of it. And you had this thing where they would throw it, and a little parachute would pop out, and then it would shoot down the copper blast. And so
come down from above. Yikes.
Yeah. So
Oh.
then they were cutting the parachute out of it and just using it as like one of the like the potato smasher like grenades from World War II. Like and like they would just like come up from behind a building and just throw the thing at us. And like it was just it got bad the stuff they were using. And like so like the MRAPs, when they came out, they had an additional layer where like you would have 6 inches between the door, and then you had this other layer of armor that had some sort of like gel and like other stuff in it, which was supposed to catch whatever was hitting it and harden it and stop it.
Yeah.
And,
They had like the
catch it
reactive
as
armor
well.
on them at one point too. I think them things were
Right.
awesome. I watched those things get blown up, and it didn't phase them at all. They was like, whatever, we're good.
It was insane, like the amount of stuff that that these guys take the hits for days in and keep going. And
Yeah,
like
King Bob, it was a shape charge essentially. It was a big molten piece of copper shape charge that it would just punch holes through things. They were
and like
gnarly.
the other thing that was weird was like we went from the first tour of 405 that we owned the road to the next tour was stay back 100 feet, you'll be shot. That was the sign on the back of the convoy. And then on the third tour it said approach with caution, pass when signaled. And they literally could come up to our element, be signaled to go through and around, like integrate into the convoy, and then pass us. Like,
Yeah,
it was just a mind fuck to go from the one way of life into that.
So I guess my first deployment would have been that 0405 deployment, right? Does that make sense? I got it in 02, went through basic airborne RIP, quit RIP real quick. That wasn't the life for me, it turned out. went to Hawaii in like the beginning of 03. So yeah, I guess that checks out. Trained for like a 12 months, maybe.
Were you what, 25th?
Yeah, I was out in 25th in Hawaii.
So yeah, so they were what?
So I think my deployment was the same. I think that 04, were you part of like a ground movement coming up?
So I was the division headquarters for multinational force Iraq North. So we were the Rainbow Division.
Was Big Red 1 under you?
Yes, we took over for Big Red 1.
So that's still a unit?
I've got a combat patch for it.
No kidding.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, they attached my
first ID authorized us theirs because we didn't take over until February of 2005. So October through February, we fell under first ID, even though we were our own division. And then in February, when we did the RIPTOA, that's when we took over the Rainbow. And then we also had 2 brigades of third ID underneath us. So we had the first of the third and the third of the third. Third ID. And then we got relieved in December 2005 by 101st. And they relieved us there because we were there. Like I said, I was in Tikrit, but we had that whole AO from Samara all the ways up to like Erbil, up in the Kurds. Like what was wild, like one time we landed and like we picked up like a Kurdish general that was, he used to be, Saddam's side and was actually in like one of the old Desert Storm games. It's like a character that you would fight against in like the video game.
Oh, wow.
And then like we're like having like dinners with them and like the general sitting down, like talking to him. And like the guy said, like, if you want this guy's, head on a plate, just let me take a week where, nobody, holds anything against me, and I'll get it for you. And of course, everybody was like we can't do that, buddy.
You can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. I think we might have been in the same AO in that Samara area, because I think that was when we got our Big Red 1 patch. We got attached to the Big Red 1, their striker unit, and there it was more than strikers. It was Bradley's
Was
too.
it like patrol based razor?
Oh shit! I couldn't tell you. My first deployment, they used this as a QRF. So we were stationed out of the air base in Kirkuk, the Air Force base up there.
Yeah, Warrior.
We didn't. Yeah, is that what it was?
Yep.
Warrior. That could be. But they used us for everything. So we were going all over the place. And that first deployment, we never unpacked our bags. Like we had our sea bags ready to go at all times. And we were barely in Kirkuk. And then one of those is when I don't think my whole brigade, might have been the brigade, might have just been the battalion, I don't remember, got attached to the Big Red 1 in their mech unit in Samara. And we went in there and wreaked havoc for about a month or so.
Yeah, Samara was like crazy because like anytime you went in there, you had to have an escort by a tank, or you could have a Kiowa escort you.
Oh, we walked from one side of the city to the other with.
No, they were like, nope, you gotta have a tank in front of you, or it's a Kiowa. And like,
I brought an AT4, so that was fun.
Yeah, we were definitely at the same time because like that was our combat load. Was like I had my 240 at top, I had my M4, I had my 9mm, and then I had an AT4 in the back seat sitting there. So
I carried it on my back with my saw. Yeah, it sucked. It really sucked.
That's a load and a half.
It really sucked. I think I had 1,800 rounds on me for that mission.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was a big one. That sucked. Hey, Lefty.
Did you really need that many rounds? Like, yeah.
Well, I wasn't going to run out. I promise you that.
No. So on the 12th day we were there, we hit a little landmine, an anti-tank landmine that was placed in the tracks where we had been like 10, 15 minutes prior. So I'm trying to get the overlay now to post the picture that we had. Like you said, it shot the tire like 300 yards down the road.
I believe it. Some of those explosions were crazy. I got so lucky, y'all. I've been blown up like 5 or 6 times, and I've still got all 10 fingers, all 10 toes. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
So there you can see the Humvee, and there you can see the tire. Like the tire is right above the chat, and the Humvee is down at the bottom there. And that first Humvee there to the left, that was mine. The LT had called up and said, "Hey, we're going to take the lead from here." Came around us. As soon as they went into the dirt, they hit the landmine and sprayed my truck, and the tire shot down. And it was just, after that I did, 2 more tours, and I was like, this is normal.
Yeah. After you get used to it, it's like, whatever.
And for that first one, like, it's like when, you go snowboarding, they say make your first fall your worst fall, because, then after that, it's no problem. So like my first tour was the worst one. So after that, when you miss, 2 Christmases, 2, 4th of July, 2 things, because your damn tour is 18 months, you do a 12-month and it's not too bad.
That first deployment was nuts. It was nuts. OAF 2, we'd just be hauling down the road, like shooting at cars to get them to pull over if they're not paying attention. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. Just crazy.
So I was the lead truck gunner, so I would always take my 9mm out, and like the 9mm, like pointing the 9mm and waving it would get them to move more than, pointing a 240 at them. Because I pointed 240 and they'd be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
I point the 9mm and they'd be like, "Shit, pull over."
I remember those first Humvees, the cargo ones. I remember standing in the back with my saw on top of the canvas roof of this thing, and we're driving down the road, and I'm standing up in the back of the truck. It was absolutely wild. I don't know how I made it home, yo. I really don't.
And on top of the gift and go you've got going, I know Baker's going to be doing another one on Saturday.
Saturday,
6 a.m. to 6 p.m. He's doing a 12-hour stream.
Yeah, I'm in the middle bracket. I'm in
at
the
the
middle
Broken
4 hours.
Baker. Going to be doing a fundraiser, continuing this fundraiser for Val here on that.
He's a
and
good
also raising funds for Turtle Boys Defense Fund and Kelsey Fitzsimmons.
Yep, those are the 3. Nailed it.
And then, well, I mean, it's that's all happening right here where me and Travis live, you know.
Oh yeah, I guess it is, ain't it?
Travis, you're Norfolk County, aren't you?
Hmm?
You're Norfolk County too, aren't you?
No, I'm in Plymouth County.
Gotcha.
You're west of me.
Gotcha. You're down Route 3, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Speaking of down Route 3, I gotta get ready to go Oscar Mike on my show.
Who you got on tonight?
I have on Colonel U.S. Army Colonel retired Wesley Martin and Command Sergeant Major Bill Geasley, I think. We're talking about their book that they put together about earning about NCO leadership, and it was really good. Having the colonel talk about things where if he didn't have the kind of NCOs and staff NCOs to help him lead, he wouldn't have gotten very far, which is refreshing to hear, all things considered. So there's good stuff there.
Absolutely. It's always good when an officer gives, credit where it's due, instead of, a lot of them just took the credit for what,
Yes,
what we did.
Yeah.
I did that. I'm like, oh, really? You did that, sir? Really?
I don't remember you filling sandbags out there at 3 o'clock in the morning, you son of a bitch.
No.
So Travis will be on 8 o'clock at all places where podcasts are available. And I'm just going to grab Emily because she did want to say hi one more time real quick because I told her, who was going to be on tonight. So she wanted to say hi real quick before you go.
Well, man, good seeing you. Happy holidays.
Same.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's. Good
Merry
with
Christmas,
the goats
brother.
and Lego blocks. And
Yeah.
trying to help out. And if we got to Nashville area, I'll try to look you up.
Hell yeah. I didn't realize we were both in Tennessee. Maybe I did.
Well, I'm not in Tennessee, but I've been to Tennessee several times.
Okay.
A lot.
Well, yeah, no, I knew that. That's never mind.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. It's good. Hey, Emily.
Hi.
Merry Christmas.
So this is Val, and there's Travis again.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
How
you
you
get
doing?
ready for Christmas?
Wow. And we have one Christmassy and on my beauty mat. Like that?
Yep. So the Christmas tree's on our bluey mat right now because we didn't have a skirt for it. So we just put it on the car, where it's got the bluey house and then it's got all the little roads to
Nice.
the other different houses.
Yeah,
So it's
for
on the
like
car
Hot
mat
Wheels
right
or
now.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Cool.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah, I like it.
And we put some light on it and too late. And Mama come home already.
Yep. We didn't get the lights on in time before Mama got home.
Wow.
Yep. Can you say good luck, Val, with your fundraising?
Good luck, Val.
Thank you.
And say, Travis, have a good show tonight.
Sappers had good show tonight.
Thank you so much.
All right. We are resilient. Thank you guys
You're
for joining us.
more resilient.
We'll see you guys again next week. Thanks, Val, for joining us. And we'll continue
Appreciate
to
you,
share
boys.
the fundraiser until it's met.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. Best of luck, guys. Have a good night now.
Wait. My other person.
Yeah. It's ending, I think. And is it ending? Did it end?
It didn't end yet.